JD Bradley, and I've had a hell of a life that's given me unique perspective and crazy stories that I share here. The 2,600-mile pumpkin. I was stationed at Fort Drum, upstate New York, in Arctic fucking hell before I got out of the Army, and I fucking hated it, to say the very least. Anyway, I had this one E5 that was over me, Sergeant Jackson, and he was an ignorant piece of shit motherfucker that really went out of his way to make my life hell, but I was pretty much immune to anything like that at that point, but I sure did hate that motherfucker. I couldn't do shit back to him because he was an NCO and I was a Spec 4, one rank below him, but there's a world of difference. Anyway, we had a brigade area meeting at one point. I'm not going to get into what size the brigade is. You either know or you don't, and it doesn't really matter anyway. But nobody knew what the subject of the meeting was going to be. And we get there, and it was a full bird colonel, said, I'm sure everybody's curious why you're here. Well, as it turns out, there have been budget cutbacks, and if you want out from active duty, just volunteer now, and we'll let you go home and get out of the Army. And my hand was one of the first ones that went up in the air. So I started getting ready to go. I think like 30 days later, I was supposed to get out. I had to do various things to get ready to go, which reminds me of another story I'll be telling. But anyway, so I let it be known in the barracks that I was going to hang outside the Fort Drum for 3 days because the Uniform Code of Military Justice, you're still subject to it for 72 hours when you get out from active duty, but after that, you're civilian and you're just subject to regular laws. So I let everybody know, and I knew I would get back to him, that I was going to hang outside the gate in a hotel for 3 days and come back and fuck Sergeant Johnson up real bad, which was exactly my fucking intention. So it got back to him, and he got pretty scared. He lived in the barracks too, same floor as me and everything. So anyway, we were all drinking one night, and he comes up to me and knocking on the door. Everybody's drinking in my room because we're partying because I'm getting ready to go. And so the door's open anyway, so I look at him, and I turn on the music, and everybody's staring at me and goes, hey, Bradley, I was thinking about it. You're getting off from active duty and all, so all our problems should really pretty much be gone, and maybe we should let bygones be bygones. And I said, man, you should have thought about that shit before, man. Fuck no. You know what I'm going to do. You heard about it, and it's going to happen. And he's like, oh, Lord. So he takes his punk ass back to his room, and he continues to fucking sweat this shit every fucking day. He looks at me with fear in his eyes because the impending beating that he's going to experience. Oh, it was going to be a hell of a fucking beating. So anyway, it got down to the last few days I had in there. I think I had 3 days left of active duty. And then, of course, I had 3 days I'd wait outside the gate. Anyway, they had an alert. An alert is when they suddenly have to go to the field. And so they went to the field, and I was still there. And so I got information from somebody who's going to be a long field activity, like for a month. And I went ahead and got my plane ticket, and I flew to Washington State, where I moved to when I got out of the Army. So anyway, I get up there, and I get settled in, I buy a car. I got a job at the mall as an assistant manager of a KB Toys. Anybody out there remember KB Toys? That was a fun job, but anyway. So I kept calling back and checking to see if they're going to get back. And finally one day, the CQ, the charge of quarters guy, answered the phone. I said, hey, are they back from the field yet? And he said, yeah. And I said, hey, can I speak with Sergeant Jackson, please? He didn't know who I was. A lot of people in this unit. So he said, sure. So Sergeant Jackson this whole time figured he missed a bullet with this rollout, right? Like he was not getting his ass kicked. He got really lucky. So he comes back, or he shows up on the phone. He says, this is Sergeant Jackson. And I said, Sergeant Jackson, this is Bradley. I've been hanging outside the gate for a month, and I'm coming to fuck you up now. And he goes, oh, Lord. And I hung up on him. And that was on my lunch, by the way, from my job as assistant manager. So I laughed, and I ate, and I went back to work. And I wonder how long he sat there, like in fear, before he realized I wasn't even going to show up. Because I was like 2,600 miles away. But I guarantee you, immediately, he called the MPs for some protection. He, told everybody that I was coming to get him because he wanted to protect himself from this heinous beating I was going to give him. And then he just looked like the biggest punk clown ever. I punked him out for fucking 2,600 miles away, I think. I looked it up at one point. Anyway, that's the story of how I punked a guy from across the country. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, be sure to check out jdbradley.com, and I have books available on amazon.com. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please share this episode on your social media. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great day.